Welcome back to Chill Chats with Jen. I'm Jen, and I have a very special guest today. I have Amanda. She is a
Oh,
local business owner, so I'm so excited to have her on because I am a coffee addict and she is a coffee shop owner. So I'm super excited to talk to you. First, I want to start, who names your drinks? Because I'm going to post the link, but you have such creative names for your drinks. I absolutely love it.
oh my gosh. That actually is a fun question because there's many answers to that. Um, First off, I name a good portion of them, but some of them are actually from the original like shop opening when my parents opened it in 1996. So the ditch driver is our oldest recipe, and I asked my dad once about that, like, why'd you name this drink that? And he goes, "Well, it's so good that you go, wow, this is so good," and then you drive into the ditch. And I
Oh
said,
no.
"Oh." Okay, great. But there's been a lot of different variations of it. So our most popular drink is called the Aspen, which I named after my daughter, whose name is Aspen.
Oh.
And when she was really little, she would come in and she'd want her chocolate milk. You know, she was not a big coffee drinker, obviously, as a young one, but she wanted it to be special chocolate milk, and it was always white chocolate and caramel. So when we named those, I named it that, and then. A few of our specialties like are after my siblings. So I have the Tiger Mocha. My little sister, her nickname growing up was Emmy Tiger. So we did that. And then my sister had a little stint as an influencer and she just chose the flavors and told me to name it whatever. And so I was kind of ribbing her a little bit. My,
Love it.
my husband has named one. And then there have been a few over the years where our customers have named them.
Mm.
Um, but they've been like, oh, it like I want something that would be like a heartbreaker, and they've invented their drink and it winds up on the menu, or my employees will. But it's kind of a community effort on that, both honoring like where we've come and then like bringing other people into the fold, and for me
Love
like
that.
honoring my family and being able to kind of name them here and there and just be like, you wouldn't know it unless you know them, or they would only know that it's about them, but it's fun for me.
Yeah.
But all I really I really enjoy. I started doing this when we started doing dirty sodas, which is like a huge trend in Utah specifically, and it's kind of made its way to us. I was like, well, if it's a dirty soda, I want it to have a slightly dirty name.
As
And
you
so
should.
when we named, as you should, and so I was like, well, how do I have this be like an innuendo that like it's still like kind of okay? So like one of them, it's an orange soda, and I call it the pulp friction. And I think that that's funny because it's like the literary and like all in the movie reference, but it's also like that's kind of funny. But like if a kid says it, it's not that bad, you
Right.
know? So I have a lot of fun being a little cheeky with my names just because I can.
Love it. And there's a
The joy of
seasonal
not
drink
being.
right now. As soon as I saw it pop up, I'm like, I love this. The peach,
Mhm.
please.
Yes. That was peach, please. I thought that was so funny. My daughter requested that I have something with white peach on the menu for summer, and I said, okay, cool. I'm
I
on
love
it.
it.
You gotta have fun with it. Otherwise, what's the point? It's called Joyful Brew
Exactly.
for a reason.
Yes, I'm totally spaced on that. But yes, the coffee shop is Joyful Brews. Amazing, amazing coffee. And you support local artists, like a local, did the mural on your building, which
Yeah.
bravo.
We
I love
we
that.
have had a very cool history with the murals on our buildings, both in the original building that we were in, which was actually across the street next to Hometown Liquor, when we opened in 1996, and we outgrew that space very quickly and moved into where we are now in 1998. I think my parents realized it a year in that we needed more space. And so they started reconverting the original gas station into um, the coffee shop. But originally, when we first opened, we had some traveling people that lived in a school bus that was converted into their home, and they were artists. And they came by, and my dad said, "Hey, can you paint my building?" And he said, "Yeah, And they were the cutest couple, and they did the murals on the original location, and they even painted like a picture of my dad so that when you drove
Oh,
away, it was him waving goodbye to you, and it said, "See you
oh.
tomorrow." And it was
Love
painted
that.
backwards so you could read it in your rear view mirror. But when we moved to the bigger building, they did it again. And some of the elements that we've had in our murals that have remained consistent over time is that we've always had rainbows, we've always had suns and moons, flying coffee cups, and yeah, just we've always tried to use, if we can, a local artist. So over the years, we've had a man named Dawson who lives in Longmont did one, a local boy named Logan. Oh my gosh, his name is leaving me right at the moment. Of course, right at the moment I need it. Logan did one for us. And then the most recent artist that we have was Joanna Giddings. And it's fun because her name is also Joy, so it was really great. But she was a customer of mine and always very artsy. And she was just coming through one day to get her brevet that she always gets. And I was like, hey, I know that you're in the art world. Do you know anybody? And it was when we transitioned from being the coffee drive-through, spelled Kofe, into Joyful. And we had the name painted, and I had to have it painted over. And she goes, I can do it. I do those things. And I was like, perfect. Um, and so she actually painted me an entire concept of what she wanted the mural to look like. And I have it framed in my house now because it was beautiful. And so she did that. But I've always, I'd say about every 4 to 5 years, we try to redo something on it just to keep it maintained. It gets a lot of wind and stuff out there, but it is so fun to create character out of this slate where it's a sea of like that big field, that big farm right next to us, and it'd be easy to miss.
Mhm.
But then all of a sudden it's like, wow,
Yeah.
here's this giant rainbow colored
It's a
purple
pop those
out of
happy,
nowhere.
and then you find out it's coffee, and you're like,
Yeah.
yes.
And it's fun because most people don't know, like they're like, I didn't realize that this was coffee. I'm like, it says coffee it with like
Yeah.
12-foot letters. But it's amazing for me because it's fun to have that form of expression and to not be in this cookie cutter, like everything is gray and tan, and we've made it colorful, we've made it joyful, and it's been fun to take the elements that my parents started with growing up and to create my own spin on them. It's been really cool.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So have you always been like in the coffee world? Did you work there growing up?
Yeah, so they opened in 1996. I was 5 years old at the time. But yes, I still went to the shop with my parents before school in the morning. I'm the oldest of four, so my mom, bless her heart, was always very overwhelmed in the morning. So I would usually either my dad would get the kids ready or my mom, and I'd go with and take orders. And I still can remember getting my little notepad out and going out to the line and like taking people's orders, and I never wrote it down right. Like I never actually like, got the orders. I think he just wanted me to feel it like I was doing something. Or I would work at the register and count money. But I grew up in that, just running around the shop, and I'd always get $2 and I would be so excited because then I could get a snack at school, lunchline. I could get like a brownie or something. Um, but my parents actually sold it in 2001 to a family friend who had two daughters that really wanted to run the coffee shop. We were going to move to Iowa, and we had the house on the market. It was packed up. We were getting ready to go down to close. September 11th happened and everything shut down. And we couldn't get a hold of anybody. And my parents took it as a sign that we shouldn't move. Um, and so they ended up opening an antique store in Fort Collins, which is still there today, and ran that with another family friend. And then in 2008, no, 2007, my parents were getting a divorce, and my mom purchased it back. And I was a senior in high school at the time, and so I worked with her. I changed my school schedule around a little bit so I could help her open up in the morning, and then I would help at lunch or wherever I could. And then it was just my mom and I running it from, yeah, that 2007, 2008 timeline up until 2016. She said to me, I think I'm ready to retire from the coffee business. I want to sell it. And I was finishing up my elementary education degree. I was kind of like headed towards that. And I said, I think I'm going to buy it then. And I did. And so she owner financed it for me. I just paid her directly. She gave me a 0% loan, which was incredible. And I paid it off in 4 years, and it became fully mine in 2020, which is amazing.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm incredibly proud of that. It was hard. And
Especially in 2020.
especially in 2020. It was great to operate a drive-through in 2020. I will give you that. Um, which is funny because, in 2016, she's like, I'm retiring from the coffee business. But in 2019, we bought a cafe, and her and I redid that in downtown, and it's now known as Coffee House. Um, and we sold that in 2021 because she was like, actually, yeah, I am retired from the coffee business. Um, but it was a really cool thing for me to like see this thing that I grew up with because even when we didn't own it, it was still a part of our family lore. It was still very important to us. We were still connected with the people who owned it as it passed hands a few times. Like we always wanted the opportunity to get it back. It was just never like the right timing. And then when it was amazing. And so for me to take something that was really important in the family legacy and to finally be able to go, well, I have ideas. I have things I want to do um and to just be able to implement them and to kind of have that creative control was really awesome. And I feel like I've taken it in a place that I don't think my parents realized it could go.
Mhm.
And I built a really cool culture around not only like the coffee in the building, but even within my staff and within like just the small community that we've built. Like it has been an incredible experience. Like the staff I have now, I mean, are very, very tight knit. We don't have turnover. They just don't leave. They really like where they're at, and I really enjoy them. And um, yeah, I don't know what the question was actually at this point. I'm just rambling because I'm so passionate about what we do. It's so fun. Yeah.
I love that. I love that it's just been in the family and now it's passed on. And I think your daughter works there, right?
Yeah, my daughter is officially on the payroll this year.
Oh,
She's 15.
congratulations.
I know, it's
So
so weird. We
it's
just
going on.
she's been at the window her whole life. I can still remember the day when she like could no longer run underneath the counters and she smacked her forehead on the side of the counter. Like she's grown up. I say it as she was fine. But like, she's been at the window taking orders and she used to draw little notes for people and little pictures for people on post-its and pass it out to them. And now, yeah, officially on the payroll as of this month and being trained officially, like, and I had to make one of the other employees do it. I was like, I think it's best that a 15-year-old not be trained by her mother in a job. Um, and she's doing great. Like
Love that.
she's excited to have a job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the third generation of doing this. That's crazy.
It's crazy. I love
Yeah.
that though. Oh,
Yeah. It's
so
fun.
cool. What is your go-to coffee drink and do you drink it all the time?
Okay, loaded question. I feel like the assumption is she owns a coffee shop, so she must drink coffee all day. And yes, for many years I did. But I also am an anxious person, and I've realized that there's a fine line between coffee and anxiety. So I have 1 cup of coffee every day. But it also means that I very strategically plan how good that coffee is going to be every single day.
Right.
Um, I alternate somewhere between getting a cold brew that I will just alternate a flavor in it with some like cream in it. But if I'm really feeling like I want something fancy, I will either do one of our seasonals. Like I really like our beach bonfire right now. It's a toasted marshmallow coconut with caramel drizzle. It's stupid good. Or I just go with a sea turtle. And my daughter Aspen would be offended I didn't say Aspen, but
That was for her.
that was for her. I love the sea turtle. But yeah, usually I'm pretty boring. Usually I just have a cold brew, but on the fancy days, it's the sea turtle, and it has to be iced, and it has to have whipped cream because duh. And yeah, it's delicious.
Love them. I would be all day, but I love the self-control because I have to do that too, where I'm just like one or two a day, and then I have
Yeah,
to go.
yeah. I would love to. There was a period of time where I realized I was having like between 6 and 8 shots of espresso every day. And then we brought on the Red Bull infusions and I realized I really liked those. And I would have like the big one every day. And then I was going, why does my heart race all the time? So
That'll do
I,
it.
over the course of the last few years, I've been really working on cutting back on my caffeine. And then every now and then I'll have a Coke. Um, but yeah, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not. having it all day, every day. I want to, though.
It's smart though. It's good you're not.
Yeah. I like being alive. So, big fan.
Your social media is top notch. The
Thanks.
millennial in me is like, you speak to me in so many ways that I didn't know my heart needed. Is that all your creative thoughts as well?
I have so much fun making our videos. I've had a series of employees over the years that have been like, we have to do this. And I've always been like, ew, I don't want to be weird on camera. And then I started doing it and realized it's a ton of fun.
So
I
fun to
for,
watch.
I forget that other people see it though. Like that's the funny thing is that like I will post them and then completely forget until someone goes, I like your video. And I'm like, what video are you talking about? What did I do? Um, they're fun. I mean, often it'll be trends that I just add my own spin to or add my own version, or I'll come up with an idea or you know, anything that like one of my employees will come up to. Recently, though, the fun thing has been as we've started to build up like kind of the following with it, is how many people send me things and go, "Will you please do this? Will you please make this video?" I probably get my messages all the time of like, "Here's an idea for you," and I'm like, "Perfect. That means I don't have to scroll endlessly to come up with an idea." Um, and I love when my employees will do it with me. Like if I can get an employee to hop on or a
So fun.
customer to hop on with me. Our most popular one that wound up with like 500,000 views was taking all of my male customers who just look like scary men and doing a video to the Barbie girl song. And then before their coffee, like, come on, Barbie, let's go party. And then they're like, ah, like I was like, this is hilarious. And it is just like the gold of including your community in all of that. And what's funny is so Bertha Day is coming up and we're going to be in the parade this year. And one of the guys who was in that video that went viral is letting us borrow his golf cart and he's going to be in it. And so is Scott, who was also in the video. So they have linked up with each other and bought feather boas and we've done all the things and they're going to be in the parade blasting the Barbie girl song
I love
for the
that.
parade. And
Kind of
I'm
first
like there.
full circle.
Yes, I'm like full circle moment. And so we all get to do it. And so we'll have, my other business and we'll have that, all together in one. And it's just like it's so funny to me. Just the way that our community comes to. But yeah, the videos are fun. And if you ever want to be in one with me,
I will
by all
totally be in one with you.
but I always laugh because I'm usually filming them in the morning, and I purposely schedule myself on Tuesday mornings to be by myself between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. because Tuesday is our slowest morning for some reason every week, and so I can handle it by myself. But it's because that's when I film the videos, and I don't like it when people watch me film the videos. I'm like, don't look at me while I'm doing this. I know I'm being weird. I know everyone's gonna see it. And so it's always funny when a customer rolls up. So my content mornings drink some coffee and dance around the shop.
I
And
love it.
it's just fun to be silly. When you're a small business owner, you have to be serious about so much and you have to be so organized about so much. And to have 1 hour a week dedicated to just pure whimsy is so fun.
Mm-hmm. I
I
love
wish I
it.
could do it for 10 hours a week.
Right. Well, they're so fun to watch. So
Oh,
you're
thanks.
but
Thanks.
yeah, I'll keep it in mind. Tuesday mornings, I'm just gonna roll up and be like, "Do you need help in there?"
Yes, always yes. I also love when I get the milk guy to do it. I every now and then my milk delivery man will be in a video and he does not have any social media, so he has no idea how popular he is, but he is so funny. So in the morning, Fresh Dairy always is like, thanks for advertising. I'm like, no problem. Here, give this man a raise, please. He's heavy lifting for you right now.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
So let's dive into your new venture. You just
yeah.
open, or it's opening soon. It's not open
I get my keys to the business on Monday. So
Monday.
like,
Okay.
what day is today? Is today Friday?
Friday.
Oh my God.
It's coming up.
So I partnered with a friend and co-worker of mine from a previous job that I had to open up a boutique fitness studio in Berthoud. Um, we met working at another boutique fitness studio in Loveland and became really fast friends. And then she moved on and started doing pop-up classes around town at other local businesses. And it's called Berthoud Bar, is what she was just popping up at City Star, Wildfire, or all these other places and just teaching classes. And they started to really get good traction around what she was doing. But then she was going on maternity leave and she had reached out to me and asked if I would just cover her classes during her maternity leave. And I had just left my teaching job in Loveland and was like, I think I'm done with teaching for a little while. I think I need to just focus on Joyful Brews. And then she asked me that, and I said, never mind, I'll do that for you." And then I found out that we worked really, really well together, and that when I brought in a different element of mat Pilates with bar, that it really sparked a huge interest among women in our community. And the classes started to sell out really rapidly. And when she came back from maternity leave, the momentum just continued. And so we just kind of had that moment where we were just having lunch with each other and we went, should we look for something? Should is this a thing? Like, because like we could keep doing pop-ups forever, but what if we were able to find a space to do this? And that happened in probably mid-February. This started in January. And so we went, okay, cool. And turns out commercial property is really hard to find in Berthoud. And so we we toured a few spaces that were just not right or too expensive or too large. One of them was the Panthers Gate space, which would be great, except for it's 6,000 square feet, and that's a lot of square feet. Um, and so we just continued with the pop-ups and we're like, when it happens, it happens. When we find something, it will happen. And we applied to a place where somewhere else was selected for it, a different type of business. And then the lady who owns You and Me Floral, her name is Katie. Such a sweetheart, and she's been a longtime customer and just a dear person in my life. Um, Came through the drive-through one day and said, "Hey, I'm having some life changes, and I'm thinking about scaling back You and Me and doing something at Cobblestone, and focusing on my events instead. But my lease at the store is until October. And I know you're looking for a space. Is there any chance you might want to take it over?" And then I was like, immediately, yes. I mean, I've been in there many times. I've given you many of my dollars, but let me come look at it again. And so Ashley and I met over there and we decided it was perfect. We got along great with her landlord. He was able to just make that transition. And then Katie just said, I just want to get through Mother's Day and be able to do all my flowers and host my daughter's graduation party there, and then it can be yours. So June 1st, which is in 3 days, and probably this podcast will be out long after. So what's nice is it requires very little renovations. I need to paint, hang up some mirrors, some ballet bars. We have a local construction guy who's going to build our custom shelving, and then I'm going to make my husband do all of the furniture that we'll need. So,
I love
which
that.
he actually really enjoys doing. So this is a really great thing for his new unpaid job that he didn't sign up for.
All right.
Um, but but he's supportive. He just, he's like, don't ask me to do Pilates, okay? Uh, but
Get his workout in, it'll be fine.
yeah. So the hope is to be open July 1st, and we will be offering bar, mat Pilates, strength and flow classes, which is yoga. But we'll add our own spin to it. The best part about what it's called mat in motion. And it's that you're on the mat and everything can be done on the mat and you move your body. And our biggest mission is to anybody, any, boy or girl, but we know that our target demographic is likely going to be women, but anybody of any size, of any gender, of any walk of life or level of athletic ability can come in and get a good workout and to be in a space that's inclusive, that's designed just for you, and hopefully to build a good amount of community. I think one of the things that the world in general, not just our community, is missing is a third space.
Mhm.
And largely disappeared. And much like Joyful and everything that I do there and the way I try to create gathering, I'm still a drive-through. It's not a place to really hang. And that's something I really crave in my life is genuine connection beyond 30-second interactions. And so for us, creating this place where not only are you getting a sweaty workout and you're feeling empowered, like you're feeling really strong and empowered, you are getting to know the people that are taking the classes with you. We hope to have events where people can connect beyond the workout. Like, I'm also a book girly. I serve on the board of trustees for the Berthoud Community Library District. So, being able to connect and create a book club area, within the studio where that's what we do, or to have happy hour events or dances or anything that we can that is more than just working out. It's just you can be here and this can be a safe space for you. Um, but yeah, I'm so excited. And Ashley and I are very aligned with each other in our mission and what matters the most to us when it comes to the fitness space. I think that we both have been in places where it doesn't always feel inclusive or feel safe, or that there's, you know, and I don't say this as a way to down talk any other fitness studio, but we stay away from diet culture. We stay away from movement as punishment. It should be fun. It should be a place that you want to come back to.
Yeah,
You
that's
should,
what keeps people consistent. Makes a
it does.
difference.
The workout that you enjoy doing is the workout you will always go back to. And it should never, ever feel like you are forced into it or like I'm punishing myself. So for us, it's creating the biggest thing for us is that our workouts are beat based. So they move to the beat of the music. So when you go and you're doing a squat and you're doing it to the beat, you're like, man, I feel like I'm dancing. I kind of feel like I'm shaking my ass at the club right now. This is fun. And then also, I didn't realize that I'm also holding 15 pounds. What? But it also is really good for you and it makes you feel good. So for us, it's like finding the joy in everything that we do. And we've hired some really incredible instructors, people who are highly qualified and knowledgeable and passionate about just lifting women up specifically. Like I said to one of my best friends the other day, I just want to create an army of badass, strong women. Like that's all I want to do.
I'm here for
So
it.
that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do it.
I love that. What is bar?
Bar is a ballet-based workout. You do not have to be a dancer. I will say that because I am not a dancer, even though I just said something about shaking your ass at the club. But
There's a difference between
there is a
having
difference.
fun and knowing what you're
Difference.
doing.
So bar, you use ballet elements. So putting yourself in like first position or second position or doing a plie or an arabesque, but you do that while also holding weights or bands or balls or other elements that add to the strength format. So it's a low impact, um, I would say high rep, low weight, ballet based workout. It's hard as hell.
It sounds.
But it, but it is so fun. And it's funny because bar is the only one on our roster that I don't teach and that I don't have the qualification for because that is Ashley's absolute baby specialty. And every single time I take that class, I have to mean mug her because she's so good and it's so hard. But it's so like at the same time, like I walk out of there, I'm like, I didn't realize I was capable of this. Um, and but you feel so good when you're done. And I look forward to getting a little bit more comfortable with it, honestly.
Love that.
Yeah.
So is it all just like classes, or do you have like people can just come in and kind of do things?
So the plan to start right now is to offer group fitness classes solely. We will have open gyms a few times a week. I believe on our schedule we have it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. You can come in and do your own thing. We hope to eventually replace that with a class as we grow, but we want to be flexible to people who may not be able to make the 5:30 p.m. class, but still want to get a workout. So we are starting with just group fitness classes. I think we are offering 4 to 5 classes per day during the week and 2 on each weekend day. But one of our instructors that we hired is a certified personal trainer, and I am also in the process of getting my certified personal trainer certificate. And so we
Like
will be
everything.
off.
Look at you.
I know. I was like, well, I may as well. The more you know, the more opportunities you have.
Yeah.
So, um, we do intend to begin offering one-on-one personal training within the studio as well as we just kind of adapt to what the community needs. I think that one of the biggest barriers to entry in group fitness is people are shy and they don't want to be looked at, especially if you are a beginner or feeling like you might be, I hate this phrase, I really hate this phrase, but out of shape because we're all in a different level of our journey. But when you're just getting started, it can be really intimidating to go into a room of 12 to 15 people and be the new person. So to be able to build some confidence on a one-on-one, I think would be really important and really impactful. So we hope to bring that on within 90 days of opening, but we just need to kind of take a gauge on what the interest is, and that'll be by appointment only.
I'm
I'm
interested.
here for you, girl. Anytime that you, yeah. And I really mean it because the reality is I want you to like it. I want you to feel on fire. I want you to finish a session and be like, dang, like I could run through a wall right now. Like that's such a big thing. And I think every woman is so powerful, and I just want you to find that for you. And so if it means one-on-one, we'll do it. I'm all about continuing as much education as possible to help as many people as possible. So
I love that. Oof, I
yeah.
can't wait.
We're gonna have so much fun. And
And
that's the
then
other thing
doing it
too is
to
our class,
music
yeah,
to
yeah.
distract you from it.
Oh,
That'll
and
make
the
a huge difference.
best part about music is one of the things I've learned in my years of teaching classes, because I've been teaching for 3 years, but I've been taking classes for most of my life. But really, truly, the last 15 to 17 years is when I first discovered yoga, and then it all was all downhill from there. But is that when you move to the beat of the music, your body needs 7% less oxygen, and you will stay in a movement about 45 seconds longer than you would if you weren't moving to the beat of the music. And I think it gets that mental part out. And I think that's really important. When you're just like, oh, okay, well, I'm just thinking about Britney Spears playing on the radio. Like, this is super great. Like,
Yep.
oh, I mean, you say you're a millennial, so like if Larger Than Life by Backstreet Boys comes on, like I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do when that song is on because I'm focused on that. Um, so it really does help. And the other thing too that I want to include is our classes will be small classes, max 15 in a class, and truly max 12 if we really to be able to give people the space to not feel like I'm in this crowded space where we're packed in like sardines. Like I want you to know the names of the people in the class. I want you to create a friend group in there. Like I want it to make you feel like you get the attention that you deserve in that class. So
Well, that's nice too, because then if people like need help, they could be like, I'm not just lost in a crowd here. I guess I'm moving. It's fine. It's more personal, which is a huge difference.
it should be personal and intentional.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm so excited. Right
Ew.
down the street, I'm like walk over after work. I'm like, yeah. So what got you into like the fitness world?
Oh, a lot of things. My very first like kind of foray into the fitness world, I did gymnastics as a kid, but um when I got into high school, I was just way too cool for sports, and way too cool for PE. Like I'm pretty sure I made somebody carry me as a piggyback for the mile run in PE, which is embarrassing to look at now because I really like running. Um, but when I started college, one of the requirements for graduating was to take a PE class of any variety. And when I was looking through the catalog, I saw yoga and I went, that's like stretching, right? I'll just do that. And I'll get my PE credit and then I'll graduate. It's not like stretching at all. It is stretching, but it's hard.
Mhm.
Um, and I fell in love with yoga immediately. It got me into my body in a way that I don't know that I ever was. And I was 18 at the time, so I didn't realize how important it was to have the mind, body, breath connection until I was in it. And that year, I decided that following summer, I wanted to get a yoga teacher certification. I loved it that much. And then at the same time, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So I got pregnant with her when I was 18 years old, which is crazy. But I wasn't able to continue with the teaching course through my pregnancy. I had to, be realistic about how I was going to support her. And so I continued with the coffee shop, but I always knew I wanted to get back to it when I had, life slowed down like it ever does. But, um, and then I just continued to take classes wherever I could, whether it was at home. I did a lot of like YouTube fitness classes, or during the pandemic, I got the Peloton and I did a lot of those, but I missed the gathering aspect of it. So once things with the pandemic slowed down, I just started looking for places to take classes. And prior to that, I did like body pump. I did anything that a gym offered. I was like, let's go. I want to go try it. Um, but I started going to a place called Cycle Bar in Fort Collins in January of 2023, and I really liked it. And I decided to audition to become an instructor there. And I failed my first one. I passed my second one. My first one was so cringy, and I was horrified by having a microphone on and like people looking at me. And I was like, this isn't as cool as I thought it was going to be. But my second one I passed, and then I went through all the training and I taught there for about a year. I really fell in love with teaching, and I feel like they provided me with a really incredible base of not just confidence, but knowledge. And I also wound up getting a certification through NASM, or the National Academy of Sports. Oh God, I should know this, but
I won't quiz
I,
you on it, don't worry.
it's fine. It's fine. But I got a group fitness instructor certification. It's the same place that I'm getting my CPT certification through. And I started teaching at a place after I left Cycle Bar after about a year. I went to a place called Fly Fitness in downtown Loveland, and that's where my knowledge really exploded because it was a multimodality studio. So I was pretty solid on spin at that point. And so I was teaching spin classes, but I was able to be trained on reformer Pilates, on strength classes, yoga, mat Pilates, all pretty much if they needed a class covered, I was qualified to teach it. So I got certifications through them. I got my NASM certification. And then I kept going. And then I also was employed by the Birth and Recreation Center that also has provided continuing education courses. And that's when I started teaching like senior fitness. I love senior fitness. I love senior fitness. I pretend I'm Richard Simmons the whole time. Vines, we do everything. It's my favorite. Like I would do it in my classes. They would get in fights to get into my classes. It was so fun. It was, oh my gosh, I love it. Um, but I just kind of looked at it from, the more knowledge you have, the more opportunities you have. So I was constantly seeking out, like a balanced body certification for mat Pilates. Like I wanted to know as much as possible so that for one, I'm keeping the people I'm teaching safe in every way, that I'm making sure my classes stay fresh and knowledgeable. And so as soon as I kind of took off with that, and I had at that point when I started teaching, the shop Joyful pretty much runs itself at this point, which is awesome. My staff is incredible, and I'm so grateful that I can step back and explore other things while that runs without me there all the time. Um, and I like will never stop being so grateful for the staff that makes that possible for me. Um, Started with yoga when I was 18 years old, and yeah,
It's crazy.
it was great. And I'm so glad that I did that and that I was like, oh, this will be easy, and that it wasn't easy, but it shaped who I am.
Mm.
And um, I will say I fell off a little bit on fitness right around when my daughter was 5, 6 years old. Life just got really busy, really overwhelming, and I was pack-a-day smoker. And I quit smoking 10 years ago last month. And
Congratulations.
thank you, amazing. When I did that, I got back into fitness and I started running. And I realized I really, really love running. And then I injured myself. And I injured myself so bad that I almost had to have surgery, my foot from it. But I decided, after doing PT, after doing all those things, I was going to get back into yoga. And I did yoga every single day for 30 days in an attempt to avoid surgery. And after that 30 days, my foot was completely healed. And I continued to do yoga every single day for like 5 years before I was like, I wonder what it would be like to lift some weights. You know, I wonder what it would be like to do this. And so that was really truly like a lot of my at home when I talk about like the Peloton and I talk about all those things was like, I wasn't always like this super like fit person that like whatever. Like my body has changed multiple times over the years. What I'm into has changed over the years. And I've just kind of rode the wave of like whatever it is that like lights me on fire. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, I like everything. And now I want to make everybody else feel like they're lit on fire because the way that it has shaped not just my confidence with myself, even not even always on the physical side, just even the way that I like move through the world.
Mhm.
I say at my classes often, like if you can get through the hard things in a class, if you can lift up this weight, if you can get through this sprint, if you can get through all of these things, then the challenges that you face outside of the room don't seem as scary and don't seem as hard because you can remember what you're capable of.
Mhm.
And that was something that I felt deeply in movement. And that was my biggest motivator for wanting to open this studio was to be able to give that gift to other people because we are often told to be small, to not be, to dim the confidence, to dim the light, to not be big, to not any of those things. And I am like, absolutely not. You need to let yourself shine and you need to let yourself be as confident as possible. You need to move through this world with your chest open and proud. And so you continuously do that every single day, or even like 3 times a week, you come in and do a class. And I always tell you, move your shoulders back, have your chest be open and confident. You find yourself sitting at the desk and you go, oh yeah, I need
Mhm.
to be confident. I need to be this, and it's so much more than just the workout. It's who you become as a result of all of the things that come with it.
I love it. Now I'm so excited. I'm like, I'm just motivated now. I'm just like,
I'm just so glad that you're like letting me yap about this because I get really fired up and I will go on for as long as you
I
let me.
love it.
So please interrupt me if you need. Yeah.
So exciting. What would you just say to someone to kind of inspire them to try it if they're like, I haven't worked out in years and can I do it?
I mean, I would always say that fitness is for everybody, regardless of your skill level, or your experience with it. For me, what would I say to somebody is you can try anything once and you never have to come back if you don't want to, but you'll never know unless you try. And for me, it's not even so much about convincing people to get there because that is the hardest part.
Hmm.
If the hardest part is showing up. And so for me, it's like once you're in there and you're trying it, how can I make this experience for you the most empowering and fun experience? And it's beyond like that, okay, great. You've tried this really scary thing, this really hard thing. Everything else beyond this, everything that you do after is an extra credit assignment. Okay. So, like, if you don't want to do this specific movement or if it doesn't feel right for you, you don't have to. You're already on the extra credit. You already passed just by showing up. Um, for me, it would be just creating a space that makes people feel like, oh, I feel seen. I feel understood. I feel good after I did that. Or I realized I was stronger than I thought. But for me, just to get somebody there saying, send me a song request. What kind of music do you like? What kind of things make you feel happy? It's, and being able to cater to that, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
If somebody hasn't, and I've had these conversations many times over the years of like, I feel intimidated or I feel scared or I feel worried about it. I often like to lean into like how I have felt over the years, of those moments where you're walking into a place where you don't know anybody, where you don't know if anybody's going to like you or introduce themselves, or you feel like you're not being seen and those things. And so for me, creating that environment of when a new person comes in, introducing them to one of my like introduce the newbie to one of my OGs, and saying like, hey, Megan's been taking my classes for months. She's absolutely wonderful. If you need anything, like she's got you. And I know that Megan, and shout out to Megan, she's a real person, will actually be like, hey girl, I got you. Like, come hang out with me. This is super fun and this is how it's changed my life. And so I think creating a more of just that community aspect of like we're not just here just because we feel like we are quote unquote out of shape or any of those things are feeling intimidating, but I'm coming here because I get to move, but I also get to be included in part of the club, and everybody is in the club, everybody is included. um but yeah, leaning in a little bit to, I like to really lean into the parts when I struggled to move, when I was in pain, and to be like, I've been there. It's not easy. I mean, and I will never, I think this question's hard for me to answer simply because I never want to pressure anybody into something they don't want to do. I only want to gently encourage. I'm not, and I say this as somebody opening a studio that will probably be sales driven. I'm not a salesperson. I'm here to create the place that you want to be, that you belong. And all I can do is just say, you're always welcome in my place. Always. And I will never tolerate an environment that makes anybody feel anything other than like they belong. That's why I'm creating this.
I'm sold. I'm
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
I
like,
mean,
yes, please take me.
yeah, you hear all the time, and this is the thing though, you hear all the time, like especially in our small community, and I'm sure that you're on the Facebook pages, the community pages, and you probably see this a lot. They should do this. They should do that. They should make this. They should. Who is they? Who is they? And I have seen so many times they should create a this. And I said, well, I don't know who they are. So what, like I'll be that person. Like I'm they. Like I'm the person doing this. And so when I'm thinking about where I've worked, where I've been, where I've even just been a patron at, like, and I've seen things that I really love and I've seen things I really don't love. And I was like, well, and I used to have that same mindset of, well, they should do this, they should do that, they should do this. And I have this like master list of like things I've really loved at studios I've either worked at or gone to, things I really didn't like. And I have been like, how do I create an environment that doesn't have these things that I really dislike and has a lot of the things I really like and things that I think are missing? And this is why I'm so grateful that I partnered with Ashley, because her and I are so similar in like the things, and also her strengths are like not my strengths, and vice versa. So like we work really well in terms of like, don't ask me to design a website. I tried to help her design the website. I broke it immediately, so good. But when it comes to painting the walls, I got it. So it's funny like how that works, but like just I want to just create something that we have control over how it feels. And that's what matters.
I love it.
Good.
So you got coffee shop, you got a studio, you got social media. What's next for you? You're so busy.
I have no idea.
Taking over.
I
Triple
know.
threat over here.
I know. I keep thinking one of my employees, Tommy, he's so funny. He's like, girl, you do way too many things. And he's like, what are you gonna do when your daughter gets her license, which is in January? I'm like, I don't know, third business. He's like, don't do that. I'm like, I'm joking. I'm not gonna do that. I think right now I'm pretty content with just having these two things and letting them flourish. And I have other, commitments throughout town. So I mentioned I'm on the board of trustees for the Berthoud Community Library District, and I'm also on the board of directors for the Habitat for Humanity. So, I mean, just being able to lean into those roles and to find ways to make the community a better place, because, I've got the coffee community, I've got the fitness community, I've got the library community, and I've got the habitat community. How do I connect all of these things and make Berthoud a place that like I continue to thrive in and be proud of? So I'll lean into that, and also probably a vacation. I probably need to take a vacation
I
at
think
some
you
point.
very much deserve that.
I probably need to read a few books, take my dog for a walk,
Uh-huh.
yeah. But for now, I want to get this up and going. I want to keep Joyful thriving as much as I can and just enjoy my time with my daughter and my husband and my very clingy creatures in my house, and just see if what I build works the way I want it to. And
I
I
think you
really
have a really good shot because
thank you.
I'm buying everything you're selling from coffee
And
to
I
fitness.
promise you, I'm actually just speaking right from the heart. I'm actually not even trying to like, I really am not a salesperson. I just am
No,
very passionate.
and it comes off that way. It's so genuine and it's just like that's what more places need. And I think if more gyms were focused towards that, more people would be consistent with it.
I agree. And I think too, I've only worked at corporate places. And so to be an independent, which obviously I'm an independent coffee shop in a sea of corporate, and to be an independent boutique in a sea of corporate, like it's fun to be like, actually, I'm just here for vibes and I'm just going to create vibes. I'm not here to make $1 million off of women's fitness. I'm not. I'm here to create something that's beautiful that just like can it just pay the rent? That would be really great if it would just pay the rent. You know, like I just am there more. I'm not here to get rich off of this. I'm here to create a thriving community. Like that's the most important thing. Everything else is extra credit, like I say.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I don't want to keep you too long here, but I could talk to you for hours because this has been so
Anytime.
fun.
If you ever want to do it again, I'm here for you. I just thank
Yeah.
you for letting me just yap and for asking me questions about the things I love most. So,
Yeah. Well, and it comes off that way. And I mean, you just radiate it and it will. It's going to draw people in and it's going to pay your rent, but I think it'll do more than that. It'll pay for
yeah.
a really nice vacation you deserve.
I thank you. I'll just not now, I'll just find the time for it. But I really hope to see you and you
Yes.
just keep doing this. I'm really excited about your podcast. So,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
yeah.
Cheers to us. Big things
Yay,
coming.
we get it. Amazing. You have a great rest of your day.
You as well. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the morning on Tuesday, hopefully
All right.
recording.
We'll come up with something super fun. It'll be great.
Until next time, everyone, thank you for joining us.